The Jeff Traylor radio show commences. UTSA off the bye week. They get ready for the Rice Owls coming up. We'll visit a little bit later on with players C.J. James and Zay Frazier as we look forward to the Rice game in a couple of days. Jeff Traylor joins us. I know that the team has been in pretty good spirits. You said earlier in the week this team's had some good practices, and that's good to see coming off the loss at East Carolina.
Yeah, they've been wonderful. They took a painful loss, a game we felt like we should have won, and we were better, and we didn't play well enough to win. So you got to give East Carolina the credit. But that was a painful loss. We had put a lot of work and time and preparation into that game, and like I said, right when it was over, we're just not good enough yet to overcome, some crucial penalties that we earned, and some crucial penalties at crucial times in the game that were questionable at best.
Yeah, I know you're disappointed mostly in the pre-snap penalties. You didn't have as many post-snap penalties, got some pass interference calls that did not go your way, but I know that's something that you're trying to continue to clean up. How's that going in the practices?
Well, I've said as long as I've been doing this, you've got to be good enough to overcome some bad breaks in a game, some critical penalties in a game. The referees aren't perfect, and neither are we. You just got to be good enough to overcome that. That's just what it is. Pre-snap, the officials had nothing to do with us having 5 pre-snap penalties on offense, lining up offsides on defense. That stuff is stuff we've got to stop. And it's frustrating because I know they're good kids and nobody messes up on purpose. I just thought, the Texas State and the Texas road trips would have us a little more prepared for that environment. But this environment was really radically involved. It was they did a great job with their music. They did a great job pushing it to the envelope, during our communication. They just have a great home field advantage. You can see why they're really hard to beat up there.
What did you like the most when you reviewed the East Carolina film? Where were the positives?
Again, our defense dominated probably 96% of the snaps. It's just 4% of the time we're giving up big plays, and we got to stop doing it. We fall down. We've fallen down more than I've ever seen in my life, giving up touchdowns. It's frustrating to say the least. And our offense is playing so inconsistent that it gets magnified every time our defense makes one mistake. Because we're putting too much pressure on our defense. And, not executing the quarterback sneak on 4th and 1, inexcusable. You got to get that first down. For our defense to get the ball turned over to us on our -20 to tie the game up, inexcusable. We just have not been very consistent on offense. But if I told you before the year, our center, our left guard, our right guard, and our right tackle, we're all going to miss 80% of the season, all of us would probably look at it and go, what the heck's going on here? And it's been more than frustrating, the change in their offensive line, which has been 5 straight years of that here. And, we took a hard look at it in the offseason, but we've got to look at it even harder this next offseason. What is that keeps making that happen?
Overall, I know you don't want Rice to know everything, but health of the team, and I asked you this on the talk show yesterday, you're not healthy, but neither is anybody else. This is about where the toughness comes in and the players that can play, how tough that they perform when they get out there Saturday against Rice and the remaining games on the schedule.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We've been pretty fortunate on defense. We're okay over there, so we're continuing to get better. That's what frustrates you as a coach. If you can keep the guys in the lineup, you just get the stacked reps, continuity of just getting better. But when you're always shuffling and changing, you're like taking 1 step forward, 2 steps back, and it's just frustrating, especially with a new quarterback. So that's been the frustrating part. I hope we can get a little 4 to 6 week window here. We might can keep some guys out there, especially on our O-line. You'd like to get that solidified. We got an important stretch right now. We've got a really – I gave the analogy, Andy. It's like we're in a double elimination tournament, and both teams have already lost one. Like, if you plan on going to the championship game, we got to win out.
Right.
And I hate to put it that way, but that's just what we put ourselves into right now.
You were concerned at the beginning of the year with the defensive backfield because of all the change there. Rashad graduated, and so did others, and you had some injuries. But Zay came up with 2 big picks for you the other day, and I think that was you mentioned he would have made those plays a year or 2 ago. You're making them now.
Yeah, I thought I was very confident coming out of fall camp that we were going to be fine there. It's taken us longer to get that ironed out than I thought, but I do see signs that those guys are really coming on right now. We're not far away there. I think we're a lot closer to being great on defense right now than we are being great on offense. But if you'll look at it, our whole offense is returning next year, and we're going to lose our entire defense next year. So next year we're going to be sitting here we're talking about, hey, what's wrong with the Roadrunners defense? We're going to be like, man, how about that offense we got? Those guys are really good. Yeah. So it's just, you know, I've been here a long time. So we've got an ebb and flow of guys that graduate. We've just got to hold down. We can't have people stealing our kids because that hurt us this year. I think that'd be fair to say.
All right, you got a big run from Brandon High in the game, and I guess, for lack of a better word, he's the 4th string running back behind Rocco and Kavorian and Robert Henry. But he had the big run for you. Got hurt on the play, but good to see him get his chance and make a big play on 4th and 1.
Yeah, he had been coming on. That did not surprise any of us. He's young. He's been waiting his turn, and if he hadn't got injured, I thought you'd have seen more of him in that game and more coming up soon. We just got to see how that leg is right now, and we'll figure that out. He's gotten better each day. We got good news. It wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be, so I don't think he'll miss extended time, if any. But how will he look when he's out there?
JT got in about 18 plays, 20 plays, somewhere around in there. Obviously didn't catch a pass. He had a couple targets, but when you review the film and see him, what do you see that you like with him back in the lineup some?
Just him being out there was a positive just for his headspace, and we'll see how he recovers from the game, and we'll see what that looks like moving forward.
Rice is the opponent this week, and we'll talk more about them in depth, but this is a team they don't quit. They play hard, and they make the game a little bit choppy, and sometimes it's hard to get into a rhythm against them.
Well, Mike's been there 7 seasons, so I mean that's a heck of a run in college football, and he's a good friend, and he's done a good job there. Those guys are very smart. They've done a good job, and their 1-4 record is deceiving. They've been beat by a very good Sam Houston team, a very good Army team. Houston's a rival game. The Charlotte game surprised me, and then Charlotte goes up there and kicks the heck out of East Carolina. So. I hate that for Mike. I told him the good news is one of us is going to be happy Saturday because both of us had miserable Septembers. Somebody's going to have a great October. I just hope it's us and not Mike.
All right. We'll talk more about the Rice Owls in a little bit. Coming up, the players C.J. James and Zay Frazier will join us in the next couple of segments. It's the Jeff Traylor Radio Show. It's brought to you by UT Health San Antonio, the official healthcare partners of UTSA Athletics. here at Chicken and Pickle as we continue the Jeff Traylor Radio Show. Fans, you can win a brand new 2024 Nissan Frontier pickup truck in the Ancira Punt for a pickup contest. Go to utsa.com/promotions to register today. Then you can become one of 3 finalists on the field at the Tipple game to punt to win a brand new truck, courtesy of the Ancira family of dealerships and the All-American Car Wash. It's time for our Stars segment, brought to you by USAA. They honor the stars who serve in our military as the official military appreciation sponsor of UTSA. We have 2 stars from the gridiron out here with us tonight. We're going to hear from CJ James in a little bit, but first, Zay Frazier joins us. Again, this is our USAA Stars of the Week segment. Welcome, Zay. How are things with you? 2 big picks in the East Carolina game. You had to like that.
It was good, man. Just trusting my instinct, trusting the coaching, and just executing the game plan.
Take us through those plays. What'd you see? Good breaks on the ball. One saved a touchdown. The other got the ball in good field position for the offense.
It's not really what I saw. It's just trusting the technique, like trusting Coach Graham, everything that he told me, and just putting it out on display.
I know that as soon as you made the pick, I thought you made it. I thought you got it. The officials waved it off. Did you know that you had it, or did you have to wait for the replay yourself?
Nah, I knew I had it because I looked down before I even caught the ball.
And when you are you ever concerned that they may see something on video that is not there?
I mean, you never know. You just got to play the next play.
All right, talk about your development as a player. I know that Jeff is very excited, so are the defensive coaches, as to what you've been able to accomplish, and talk about your development. Where do you see some excitement from your standpoint that you've done well over the last year or so?
Honestly, I just had to grow as a person. Like, coming from JUCO, coming to a D1, it was definitely a big transition. So learning the defense really quick and just going out there and executing it all in one day, that was like a big major change for me at the time. But the more I did it, the better I got at it throughout the.
All right, Jeff, I'll let you brag about Zay a little bit. Where have you seen his development and his maturity grow?
He pretty much said it. I mean, he came from junior college where he's always been long. He's always been fast. That's why you take those kind of kids. He always had a great smile. He's always been a good human. Nick Troy, fortune was good for him. Nick Troy was older. He was a good role model for Zay. Neither one of those kids are from Texas, so I think they kind of bonded. And Nick kind of had to wait his turn, and he developed to a really good corner. And it doesn't surprise me. When you're a good human and the Lord gives you talent and you just show up every day and you do the right thing, if you can avoid injury, which Zay's been, lucky to do that, his best ball is still in front of him. He's a lot like our football team. I think we'll just continue to get better each week.
Zay, take us through the path to get to UTSA. Why did you choose the Roadrunners and the road to come to San Antonio for you?
I chose UTSA off the coaches, like the brotherhood that they got with each other, and like it's family oriented. Like I've never been to another place where you can actually bring your child to practice, and it's the first place I done been at, and it's like it's hard, like warming to see that, because like not every place do that, and I wanted to be a part of a program like that and to like help a program build as well.
He mentioned Nick Troy Fortune. How was that development? What did he teach you to make you the player you are now?
Just staying patient, and he actually detailed, like, work with me with the playbook, the S's and O's, like not everything on the field, but everything off the field. Like he had to help me through as well, like with my headspace as well too.
All right, you said you have a child.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, you don't? Okay. I thought you said you just like the fact that the kids get to go to practice, right?
He likes saying Danye's and Jamoris.
Okay. So are you a babysitter for Danye and Jamoris?
Nah, man, I will be though. If they ask, I will be. If they ever ask me, they got Zay.
Yeah, but that's the kind of the culture and the atmosphere that you like around here. It's do the right things and have the right environment. Talk about that.
Yeah, just being around everybody just doing the right thing kind of just rub off on you, and I kind of done got with the groove of it with the program as well, and it's kind of like just rub off on everybody.
All right, talk about playing cornerback. Short memory for cornerbacks. You may go and make a play once in a while. You may not, but talk about having to get back up and play after play after play.
You just gotta have short-term memory as a corner, because you never know what can happen. You can go for a 50-50 ball, receiver snag on you. Then next play you can go up and get the ball. So you just got to have short-term memory and just trust your technique regardless of what happened.
Jeff, some other things that you noticed about him when you were recruiting him and getting him to San Antonio and making him a Roadrunner?
We had to go get him now. I mean, he was out there, and I remember flying in there and landing and rough flight. I hate to fly, and it was weather, and we had to drive through a bunch of back roads to get there. But we finally got to his place and his mom. It was worth the trip. I mean, the kid's just a super young man, and he's probably the furthest one I've had to go get, in a jet and talk him into coming back here. But corners with his length and speed and his character are really hard to find, and I'm glad he chose us, and I'm excited to watch how good he is. And I really believe these next 7 to 9 games he's going to be out there going to be really special.
Jeff just talked about your upbringing and the fact that you're a super person. Talk about mom and the family life back at home and mom and dad and all that. How did you get to be so mature so quickly?
Just growing up in a household with my mom, dad, and my 2 sisters, like we all like tight in the family, and like we just we all got each other back. And my mom always told me to like be kind to everybody and give everybody a chance.
Tell us about home. Where are you originally from, and what was it like growing up there?
I'm from Cedartown, Georgia. It's a small town northwest of Atlanta, and it's not many people there, but it's a good little city.
And did you play other sports other than football?
I played basketball, ran track.
What made you choose football other than the fact that you're really good at it?
Everybody in basketball 6'3", 6'4", so I had to take another route.
Yeah.
What was the little chicken place in your town? Was it Popeyes or KFC?
Nah, Bojangles.
Bojangles.
Yeah.
They got some good fried chicken.
Well, that's what we ate on the plane coming back from East Carolina.
It was well, don't bring that up, Andy. But yeah, it was really good when I ate it with him. That was for sure.
I was starving, so anything was good after that game the other night.
Nothing could have tasted good after that game.
Yeah, that Bojangles is a really good place.
Yeah, that was good.
They
I
don't have
remember
one of those here yet. Zay, congrats on everything you've accomplished so far. Best of luck going forward, and look forward to seeing you make more picks.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that's Zay Frazier, UTSA cornerback, and he had the 2 picks against East Carolina. Every 2 seconds in the U.S., someone needs blood, and every time you donate blood, you're saving up to 3 lives. Visit southtexasblood.org to schedule your donation, because when you give, they live. It's the Jeff Traylor Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network. thousands of prices on the things you use to gear up for the game so you can fill up your cart without emptying your wallet. When it comes to UTSA football, no store does more than your HEB, a proud supporter of UTSA athletics. Enjoy Bud Light while cheering on the runners. Bud Light is the official beer of UTSA athletics. Birds up, buds up all season long. CJ James, UTSA starting center, joins us on the show. Welcome. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How you doing?
Move that mic just a little bit closer to your mouth there, just a little. That'll work.
Okay, I'm good. How
That'll
you
work.
doing?
We're doing great. Talk about the offensive line. I know you guys are banged up a little bit, but you're getting healthy and getting ready for Rice this week. How's it been for you guys coming off the East Carolina game?
It's pretty good. We just cleaning up any mistakes we made during this week. We just focus on staying physical and staying healthy.
All right, you came here to UTSA in the spring. At the beginning of that, Luke Lopez was the starting center, but you're the starting center now because he got hurt. Talk about how quickly you had to make that transition to get in the lineup.
I came here one goal of mine. That was to contribute to this team's success, and every day I just come out trying to do just that.
All right, you were voted by your teammates as a single-digit number. Obviously, you can't wear it because you play center. How big of a deal was that for you, and to not be here very long, and to kind of get the locker room and the players on your side? What did you do to get that, and how do you feel about them voting for you?
Yeah, I just trusted the culture, trusted the process. Always pouring into my teammates, and it just ended up that they ended up pouring back into me. They trusted me to be their leader, and I just try to come every day and try to represent them in the best way that I can.
And Jeff, talk about him getting that single-digit number so early in his career here.
He's been a savior, honestly. He's played really well. When Luke got hurt, we knew both those kids were starters. We didn't know where we were going to put them all. Was he going to be the center and Luke guard? We're going to move Luke to tackle. CJ's very athletic. He's very flexible. He could have been moved around. But obviously when Luke got hurt, CJ was a blessing. He's done a really good job of learning our offense. There's some differences about the offense he came from and the one we ran, so we had to work through some stuff. But he's worked through that, been a really good team player. He's had to adjust a little bit to us, and we've had to adjust a little bit to him. It's just part of it. And he's played a lot of football. So he's been super. Anything I've asked him to do, he's really bought into it and not pushed back. And I'm very grateful. A lot of times when you get kids in the very last year, they're not all the way in. CJ is like a guy we've coached for years here, just the way he's bought in, and it hadn't been great. We haven't won like he wanted to win, and I know he came here to win a bunch of games, so we haven't had a lot of fun. We've been grinding. Yeah. So I really, really am proud of the man he's become and how he's handled all this tough stuff we've gone through. I mean, you got to understand this kid had a different left guard, a different right guard, a different right tackle. That's hard when you're the center trying to direct all five of those guys. All
right, CJ, you said it. Jeff said you played a lot of football. Take us through your career and how you chose UTSA for your final year.
I've been through, a lot of football. I started off Springfield, Massachusetts. I started playing high school football for Springfield Central under Baltimore Brower. Ended up going JUCO out of high school. Went to Lackawanna College in Pennsylvania. Got three games out of there. Used that tape to eventually go to Abilene Christian. I did a season there. Coach got fired. Ended up hitting portal. I went to University of New Mexico. Balled out there for 2 years. Same deal. Coach ended up getting fired. And I just wanted to be part of something special for my last year. And UTSA has been nothing but that.
Yeah, let's make sure the streak stops now.
Exactly.
Firing the coaches, though. Let's get that done.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, let's stop that. How do you adjust from Springfield, Massachusetts to San Antonio? There's a little cultural difference there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's been very different, but San Antonio is such an awesome place. They welcome me with such open arms that it's really, I haven't skipped a beat. It just feels like a home away from home, really. So, moving so far away from home, it's like you have to take a leap of faith, because you're not around no family members. You just out here by yourself. But this place has just done such a great job. Extending their arms, extending their trust to me, and really taking me in as their family.
Your teammates have trusted you. You've trusted them, and to have 99 guys or 100 guys around you that are creating that family is pretty special, isn't it?
Yep. You know, I wouldn't rather be part of anything else. You know, for my last year, it's been a blessing. I've met so many great people in that locker room, great coaches, you know, great fans around San Antonio. It's just, you know, this is the picture perfect ending to my college career.
He's the only player we've ever had that came in here and in 1 year been voted on the single digits. That's never happened. That's really hard to do. He's got some classmates that came in, like Brevin Randall. If Brevin had been here, you know, I know he would have got voted in. If Kamar would have been here, Kamara would have got voted in. We've got some guys that have really bought into our beliefs, but he's the one that did it. And in a veteran O-line group, Mekhi Hart was returning. Luke Lopez was returning. Corey was returning. Vinley was returning. And all those guys were starters. But those guys thought enough of CJ to put him in there.
Yeah, that's huge. I'm guessing Springfield, Massachusetts didn't have a lot of September days where it was 100 degrees, though, right?
Oh, no. This heat has been killing me.
Yeah, it's October there now. The leaves are changing. They don't change around here.
It's already cold up there. You know, you got
We're still sweating.
got to bring out the puffers now.
Yeah. All right, talk about playing center. I think fans now understand this more because you've got not only to snap the ball, you've got to call out the plays and the blocking assignments. And as Jeff was saying, you got four other teammates on that line that everybody has to have an assignment. Kind of take us through a play or two and what you're trying to accomplish when you're out there.
Okay, so my thought process going to the line is looking at defensive fronts. You know, we're trying to see safety rotations, any overloads to any side. You know, I'm the center of the ball, so, you know, each side has basically a certain number of players that we could block. My job is to point out who the offensive line is going to block and let the quarterbacks and the running backs know, you know, who we're taking so they can adjust off that. I've been, you know, my teammates, they know what they're doing, and that really makes it easy on me because I could just spot out who we going to, play fast, play physical, and, you know, just block good.
Jeff said you were versatile. You could play other places. And had Luke been here, you may have been a center or a guard. Have you played a lot of different things on the offensive line, or have you always just been a center?
Yeah, I can play all 5 positions. Center is really just my best position. I played some guard in high school, some tackle in high school. You know, I really could play anything, anywhere they need me.
Is center more fun because you have those responsibilities to call out those plays and things?
Yeah, I know. I could kind of take control of the game, kind of at center. You know, I could see things that my teammates can't see, and being able to, you know, call out blitzes, call out certain spots is it's great for us because it puts us like all on the same page. You know, I like keeping it consistent, keeping everybody on the same page so that we could all come out and play physically.
What about life after this year at UTSA? I'm sure you want to play in the pros, and there's other opportunities besides the NFL if the NFL doesn't come calling. Is that in your future, or are you ready to go get a real job and go to work somewhere?
Yeah, you know, NFL is the first priority. You know, I just want to make them big bucks. But, you know, I've been blessed to have, you know, a mom that keep me focused on my education because the education is the most important part of this. You know, that's why I came to college, to get my education first and to, you know, expand my opportunities later. You know, I've been blessed. I'm getting my master's right now, working on my MBA. My plans for after the season, NFL all the way. If that don't work out, you know, I'll work in the NFL front office somewhere.
Yeah, and the MBA will help you get there too. You'll have those skills to be able to get pretty much whatever job you want.
Yeah, and it works so good, me being a football player, because business is all just about being a leader. And playing football, it gives me so many skills to be able to, you know, kind of just use them skills in my daily life, use them skills in my career, use them skills in my business. And, you know, I've just been blessed.
Awesome. CJ, thanks so much. All the best to you going forward. Good luck against Rice this week.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, that's CJ James with us. thank all service members, veterans, and their families listening today for your service and sacrifice. USAA serving the military community and their families since 1922. It's the Jeff Traylor Radio Show. It's presented by UT Health San Antonio, the official healthcare partner of UTSA Athletics. See how UT Health San Antonio's brightest minds are making lives better at WeMakeLivesBetter.org. All right, let's talk about the Rice Owls. And this is one of the pain in the rear teams because they play so hard and they kind of mess up the game from time to time. But they're not having a great year record-wise, but I know you can't take them a bit for granted.
Well, if you look at them statistically, tackles for loss in the country, they're number 5 in the country. Sacks in a game, they're number 6 in the country. Total defense, top 30 in the country. Those are pretty alarming. If you look at us, we were not good early in the year at giving up sacks. We were not good at giving up TFLs. So there's some matchup problems there we've got to identify quickly. Is it their scheme? Is it their talent? Is it all the above? And we've got to make sure we get our quarterback protected and we don't have a lot of TFLs, because once you get TFLs stand for tackles for loss. Because if you're behind the chains, then that defensive coordinator, who's been there the entire time Mike's been there, he's going to dial up a more exotic blitz, the more obvious the pass situation.
E.J. Warner played at Temple last year, and he had a huge game numbers-wise against the Roadrunners, and now he's at Rice. And he is Kurt Warner's son, so he, like Owen and his relationship with his dad, he's got some pedigree in the family that's pretty good.
Yeah, and he lit us up last year for 500 yards. I think he's still throwing first downs against us right now at Temple. So I'm sure they're going to watch that game. We did not do a very good job defending him. And I'm sure there'll be some stuff they'll see in that game plan that we'll see again Saturday. All
right, what does Rice do well offensively besides him?
They run the stretch well. I like their back, Zero.
Connors.
They do a really good job getting the ball and the plays off of that. Their offensive line is well coached, and they do a good job up front. They're just and their staff's been together for a while. Those guys have got some continuity. They've always given us a fit. I know we've won the games, but it's always been very close, and we pulled it out later.
Defensively, you mentioned, I think, Monday, that they run a lot of stuff on defense, too, to confuse you.
Yeah, they pretty much run it all. I mean, I told you how good they are statistically. They'll be an over front, an under front. They'll play some odd. They've got some exotic run blitzes, some exotic pass blitzes. A lot of stuff in the back. They do. They're trouble, and they've got good personnel. They've all been together for a while. He thought he was going to have a really good team this year. He had a bunch of returning players back, and I know he's very disappointed in his September, as we are. And I told him neither one of us need to listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire for a while. No September. I
was looking over their roster and putting my stuff together for the game, and typically when you see transfers coming to a school, like ECU had one from Florida State and all these football powers, their transfers come from Brown and Dartmouth and Yale and places like that. So you know they're pretty smart.
Yeah, ours is a 2-1-0 triangle of toughness. Theirs is intellectual brutality. So that just shows you the difference, maybe. But yeah, those guys are, Luke Turner for us, who coaches our tight ends and receivers. Luke played at Rice and was a very good player for them. So he's gave some good insight on what it's like to go to school at Rice and play football at Rice and kind of the culture of that place.
I know you don't talk to a lot of coaches. You mentioned that earlier in the year. Obviously, you have the relationship with GJ up at Texas State. But talk about Mike Blumgren. He's had decent teams, it seems like, but they're just kind of playing behind the eight ball with the academic requirements that come in and close in a lot of games, but unfortunately haven't won a lot.
Yeah, well, they made the bowl last year, which was good. They made the bowl the year before that, so he's got a little bit of a streak going there. I've got to know him because he's on a lot of leadership deals in our league. He's very well respected, and so I had to deal with him in a lot of situations, like meetings at AAC. We came from Conference USA together, and we've just developed a pretty good friendship.
And they played some decent teams too. It's not like they're losing to bad teams. Obviously, the Charlotte loss was one they'd like to have back, but the others, you talked about their early season record. Even the non-conference teams have been pretty good.
Yeah, I think he was shocked that Sam Houston got him early, but now you look up and Sam Houston's really good. Obviously, Willie went in there and got him where he beat Houston last year, so I'm sure Houston was yoked up to try to get that game back, being a rivalry game. And then, he had to play Army, and they hadn't lost in a minute.
I was going to say, Army and Navy are leading the conference right now. How surprised are you about that?
Not at all. I told anybody that would listen, I think those naval academies, the Army, the cadets, they're going to dominate college football for a while because everybody else is trading players, trading parts, trading pieces, and they are staying there together. Their team's getting better. It's they can't transfer. I mean, they're there. So I mean, that's going to be a tough out for a lot of people. And I kidded when all this happened. Like, should we go learn the dang triple option, the midline, the veer, and should we all start playing football that way at this level? Because they're going to buy all of our players from us. So at their school, they're going to be there, and it doesn't surprise me. Jeff does a great job. The coach at Navy, who's they just turned that over, and he's done a really good job in his second year. It does not surprise me at all.
You coached basketball back in your high school days, and the NCAA tournament always has a team you don't suspect because they don't have any blue chip players on it. But they got 5 guys that played together for 4 years, where the one-and-doneers are all going to Kentucky, and sometimes they lose early in a tournament. Is that any parallel to football where you got an Army and a Navy team that are always together and play together for a long period of time?
It's a great analogy. I never have really thought of it that way, but it's a good way to describe what they've got. And obviously the culture at that place, I've said this numerous times, it's the only school that I felt like their culture is slightly better than ours. I mean, those guys play hard. They play the right way. They're relentless. So, no, it does not surprise me about Army and Navy.
Yeah, they're getting ready for bigger and better things in football games every other, except for the 3 hours they practice every day.
The football practice is the best part of their day.
Yeah.
That's the worst part of our kids' day.
Exactly. All right, one more segment to go with Jeff. We'll talk about the week ahead with Rice and a couple other things to get to on the show. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance members get 2 free tickets to Roadrunners football, basketball, and baseball games when you redeem online. Become a Texas Farm Bureau Insurance member and visit GoUTSA.com/TFB tickets to learn more. Fan will win the ultimate home game weekend at the Alamo Dome in our home finale versus Temple on November 22nd. One lucky fan will get a luxurious stay at the historic Maverick Hotel downtown, 2 premium game tickets, a BMW prize pack, and dinner as they cruise the city in a gorgeous new electric BMW X7 SUV. Be sure to check out goutsa.com/promotions to register today. It's the BMW Ultimate Home Weekend. And this season, Roadrunner touchdowns mean more than 6 points. For every touchdown UTSA scores at home, the Texas Animal Defense League will receive $1,000 thanks to North Park Subaru. Last season, North Park Subaru donated $27,000 to the Texas Animal Defense League thanks to 27 UTSA home touchdowns. It's North Park Subaru's TDs for charity. The Rice game kicks off at 6 on Saturday evening. We're on the air at 4 with the Credit Human pregame show. The bye week last week. I know in the past coaches would be everywhere recruiting. Do you do that as much anymore because of the portal and the way that you recruit, or were your coaches still out looking at players and looking at potential future Roadrunners?
Yeah, they're out. It's not as prevalent as it used to be, but they were definitely out. But to your point, it's just a very small part of it as compared. And I think as we move into the future, and colleges take over paying the players, which is coming soon, you're going to look at how you spend your money. Like, it's going to be very much a business model, and you got to pay the players. So how much traveling do you do? How much on the road recruiting do you do versus paying your players? It's going to be an interesting study to see how schools maneuver through the next 25 years of college football.
We talked, I think, in a show earlier in the year about the portal window, and the NCAA is going to shorten the windows but not get rid of the spring portal. Your thoughts on shortening it instead of getting rid of it?
All you've done is allow the schools that have the most to come raid your roster in the spring. So they're going to go through spring ball. They're going to look at where they missed. Maybe their left tackle got hurt in spring ball, and then they're going to come buy your left tackle from you. And everybody can say there's not going to be any tampering. There's so many ways around that now because the system's been in place so long now. I don't even know that you would call it tampering anymore because that kid's going to have an agent or a contact. The school's going to have an agent or a contact that the school's not aware of, and they're going to talk in the back, and it's just going to happen. And I'm just keeping it real with you.
Absolutely.
I hope I'm not on the radio or something, and it's going to go national right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of coaches, and especially in the American Conference, have said a lot of the same things. Was asked this question the other day by someone: why do NFL teams seemingly all huddle, and most college teams these days don't? Is there something that's there that makes that different?
Yeah. That's called a 53-man roster. They play 17 games. They can't afford to be going 80 snaps a game. They can only they're trying to play as short a game as possible because they don't have another punter, another kicker, another snapper. Where their league works, when somebody gets injured, you go to the waiver wire during the week. We don't have a waiver wire. Our roster is our roster. Like all of our linemen that have been beat up all year long, I can't go in the portal and get one, like call up some other team's center and go, hey, my center's hurt. Bring him off the practice squad and come play for us. So it's a totally different mechanism of football, a 53-man roster versus a 120-man roster.
Robert Henry got a pass when Owen's helmet comes off. You got to put Eddie Lee in the game. We were talking during the broadcast, and I think you corroborated a little bit later, that pass that got Robert down near the goal line was the same pass that Eddie Lee threw at Texas, wasn't it?
Exact same one. We threw a pick six to the horns on. So thanks for bringing that up.
Well,
Andy.
I'm saying you improved it. So that was to go back to the same play and have it work was better.
I actually said it on the headsets to Justin, and I'm like, Burke. I'm like, hey Burke, I'm glad Eddie doesn't have a very short memory because the last time we called this play, it didn't go so good for the Roadrunners with Eddie out there, and Burke's like, thanks, Coach. Bring it up again. And then, boom, it goes. I'm like, great call, Bert. Great call.
Absolutely. When it works, it's the best call ever, correct?
No doubt.
All right. You were talking, I think there was a line that you had in the Monday presser where you said, I can show you film of Owen McCown, and it looks like Frank Harris 4 years ago. And a lot of people think, well, this is just Frank Harris isn't here anymore. The offense isn't as good, but there's more to that. Talk about Owen's development, because we're seeing fewer and fewer things go wrong for him, and obviously he's only in his first full year of being the quarterback.
Well, first of all, Frank deserves all the flowers, all the love he is given. But, you know, we have some revisionist history people that like to revisit history and make it the way they believe it was. And I was actually there and coaching him. And Frank would be the first one to tell you there's some learning curves along the way. And he had some rough moments in his time, especially on the road. The kid worked through it, right? His second year, we go to Illinois, his very first game, and he pulls off, you know, the upset. That was from getting a lot of games the year before. And even a little bit of time before I got here. He played a little bit. You know, he got injured, but he still got those reps.
Exactly.
And I just think that can't be overstated enough. And people say, well, you know, Arkansas, well, they went and got their quarterback from Boise. And Texas State, well, they went and got their quarterback from somewhere else. And, you know, I'm not into that. I want to get kids, and I want to develop kids. And I know Owen McCowan will stay here all 3 years. He's already been here 3 more, this one and 2 more. And he'll keep developing. It's not fair to compare him to Frank, but I do think it's fair to compare young quarterbacks getting their due time to learn how to play the game.
Steve Sarkisian mentioned earlier in the week, 5 weeks into the season with communication to the quarterback, but he talked about having the video and the iPads as being able to make quicker adjustments. Do you see some of the similarities with your team with iPads and communications?
It just really solidifies what we always thought. You can get to it a lot quicker. You can teach. I think it's going to make football way better. I think it already has made football better because you can make your adjustments so much quicker.
Keys to the game against Rice.
Well, first of all, before I get too far, my mother turns 80 today, and I know she's listening to this radio show. So
happy birthday to Mom.
Happy birthday to my mother. She would not act like she wants me to tell everybody it's her birthday, but I know she does. Anyway, Care Bear did a good job of sending her a basket of goodies. I claimed that I did it myself, and she didn't believe me. She knew it was Care Bear. So happy birthday, Mom. Love you and miss you. Keys to the game. Our defense has got to be the defense we thought they were going to be all year. They've been good. They have not been great. Offensively, our offense has to do enough to help. We've got to contribute. I don't know that we're going to be an offensive juggernaut this season, but I do think we can be a good offense. Special teams-wise, we've got to be solid. And I would say that's what the game's going to be. And Kurt's son, you know, Mr. Warner can't go nuts on it for 500. We've got to play better than we did last year, and we've got to eliminate pre-snap penalties and take care of the road runners and to see if we can get our first road win of the year.
All right, thanks so much. We'll see you Saturday in Houston. Have a good night.
Thanks, Andy. God bless. Birds up.
All right, that's the Jeff Traylor Radio Show.